plus celery, spring onions and picolato tomatoes, all from 29p each. In store today. Aldi, multiple fruit and veg retailer 2025 at the FBC Fresh Awards. Products and prices may vary, subject to availability.
Did you know you can withdraw and deposit cash just around the corner at your local post office? We kid you not. We've partnered with all major UK banks to give you direct access to your bank account. And small business owners, take note. You can deposit your daily takings directly into your business account. With thousands of branches open late and on weekends, withdraw and deposit cash at post office. Visit your local branch today. Some banks may charge for selected services. Please speak to your bank for details.
There's a lotto draw coming up. Get your ticket today. Lotto from the National Lottery. It could be you. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
You probably didn't know my dad, Robert, but when he was alive, he made a will and left a gift to Macmillan Cancer Support. It means that in many ways he still lives on. The advisor, helping a patient over the phone on Macmillan's support line. Dad made that happen. The nurse, advising a mastectomy patient on what to wear to her son's wedding. That was also because of him. Almost a third of Macmillan's vital services are funded by gifts and wills from people just like my dad and you. So search Macmillan Legacy today and help them do whatever it takes.
It's a new season. The fans are back, and so is Coral's free reward shaker with bigger football rewards. The half and half Scarpers shaking decisively for once. They backed a super boost. Next to that, the prawn sandwich brigade. Oh, they've shaken up a free bet after that free lunch. Play Coral's free reward shaker to win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK max one reward offer per player per day. 8 AM to 8 PM. Reward restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gamble.org.
talkSPORT News.
Hi, it's Emma Kerwin with your headlines. The fire at a bar packed with teenagers in a Swiss ski resort was started by flares in champagne bottles. That's what investigators say they believe. The ceiling caught fire during New Year celebrations. Authorities are looking into whether the material conforms to regulations. Fire safety expert Arnold Tarling says images appear to show it's had soundproofing foam across it.
If the ceiling's caught fire and spread that rapidly, there is a non-compliance with the regulations, or the regulations are incorrect.
119 people were injured in the blaze in Crown, Montana, and people are still missing. The first victim has been named as teenage Italian golfer Emanuele Galoppini. The bar's two French owners have been questioned following the fire. Back here, new weather warnings have been issued by the Met Office. Scotland's expected to be worst hit, where amber snow warnings are in force, yellow snow and ice warnings in place elsewhere till Monday. It means there could be some travel problems. Gareth Jones, road safety expert at the AA, says we should check our lights, screen wash and routes before heading out.
Drive slow, take your time and make sure you leave extra space between you and the vehicle in front of you.
And Tesla is no longer the world's best-selling electric vehicle maker. Elon Musk's firm delivered 1.64 million cars in 2025. Chinese rival BYD sold 2.26 million.
talkSPORT with Bostik. If you're looking for a professional-grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Police in Nigeria say they've charged a man over a crash in which Anthony Joshua was injured and two of his friends died. And Chelsea Under-21's boss said he's excited to face Pep on what will be his first ever senior game. Well, that's more at 6.
Precision-guided coverage of the January transfer window.
On talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. What a bit of skill!
Leading the way with heavy-hitting analysis of all the moves as they happen.
He's done it again!
With concise transfer conversation, live and direct from the transfer window situation room.
Leading by example, once again!
Plus, 5 instant updates anytime on the talkSPORT app.
Can you believe it?
The January transfer window.
On talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
Get home sooner in the stadium-sized sports machine.
talkSPORT Drive.
Welcome back to Ali Pally. This is Drive Time. We are here for the next, hour and 24 minutes before we hand over to two superstars building up to both semi-finals. You hear both semi-finals of the BBC World Darts Championship live on talkSPORT. In a moment, we'll say hello to those superstars. But first, the answer to the question, and it was, what is the least hit segment on the board in professional darts, including doubles, singles, and Jones, the answer is 11. 11. about 0.15% of all darts thrown land in 11. Or if Benny's playing, about 95%. You want to listen to Drive on talkSPORT? It's me and he. We're live from Ali Pally, all thanks to our friends at Village Hotels. Rooms from £55 in the Big Village sale. Book now at villagehotels.com. Still to come and have some fun with the best of talkSPORT, but as I've already said, 4 hours to 7 on talkSPORT, we've got live coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship. Now, years ago, whenever it was, when someone at talkSPORT went, let's put the darts on the radio, some people went, it would never work. Well, it does work, and one of the main reasons for that is because of the likes of Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson, who join us now, who have been absolute, not just this year, but every single year we've been lucky enough to have the World Darts Championship on talkSPORT. Boys, good to see you. How are you?
You too.
Good to see you. Well done. Firstly, well done for just...
Thank you. It's still
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's been hard work. Well, the first, what did we do? 13
straight days, yeah.
double sessions on the spin, so they were like 14.5-hour days. So
I've got to invite him.
I'll go and cry in my bed on the way.
That's a long time on air, right?
Yeah.
That is a long time.
Well, especially when you're trying to constantly, you know, we've got a script, but the players create that script, so we've just got to try and not make it be repetitive. So we're constantly looking for stories and angles and trying to add a bit of fun to it as well, but you know, take it very serious.
Let me ask you, Paul, I'll ask you, right, because I was chatting to someone earlier on, they told me now the darts goes on longer than the Olympics. There's the same amount of competitors as there are at Wimbledon, but they've got about 20 courts, we've got one dartboard.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to get bigger. Next year it's in here, of course. Can it get too big? Can it go on for too long?
I think it can get too big. I don't think it should get any bigger than it is. I think 128 is a nice number. I think there was a lot of scrutiny about having 128 in it this year, but I think it's lived up to the nicer side of the expectation, so that we have seen a lot more countries involved. We've had 6 continents involved for the first time as well. So countries like Argentina and Kenya and other countries getting on board. I think it's a nice size, but any bigger, there will be question marks.
Yeah, I thought there was an initial fear, certainly for me, it diluted too much. But it was the opposite.
But do you think that from your perspective? Because as a fan, we just get another chance to go in that room, watch live sport, darts, which we all love, have a drink with our mates. So we might see it differently to you guys, right? You've got to work on it, we just have fun at it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to worry about the quality aspect, but the ones that, like you said, David from Kenya was just, and I thought, I looked at all of his numbers coming in, there was not a great deal of stats, as you could imagine. I feared that it could backfire, and he was absolutely amazing. He lit the place up.
Was the problem? Is that what he was worried about? Or was that maybe the quality? But certainly, if you start to see more and more people, and then you start to see some of the legs be kind of walkovers.
Yeah, we had Jesus Salati of Argentina as well, and South American darts is very much in its infancy. They're working with the Championship Darts Circuit in North America to try and go south into Central America and into southern parts of both Americas now. And what we saw from Jesus was very encouraging, because we want to take darts to these places. We don't just want to have it as a European-centric sport. We actually want it to be a global sport like others.
And when it's in this place, of course, so much history.
Did you play darts?
Yeah.
You did play there?
Yeah, I think I played 4 times in here.
And how many people watched that?
It was the same. It was a different configuration when we played here. It was lengthways, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was long and thin. Now it's very wide and sort of stumpy.
Can I just say, people just done on the radio, we're talking about darts.
Well, this place, the plain glass windows, of course, synonymous with the news of the world back in the day. And I think there used to be 15,000 in here, but of course they were just crammed in. So it's gonna look incredible. I can imagine what they're going to do to light everything up, and it's going to be a new experience for everybody, and it's demand, which is a great thing.
And you think it's a good idea that it comes in here?
Yeah,
because it's absolutely incredible in there. Obviously next door, but here, it's how the layout's going to be.
Yeah, I think we were having a walk around here a few days ago, just trying to figure it out in our own minds. And we think that the back portion of this, towards a monstrous stained glass window, which kind of looks like a dartboard, at this side of Ali Pally, I think they'll have that as the entranceway, and then looking towards, to my right, as we're looking at it right now, that's where the board will be over there. The possibilities are phenomenal. I think Ali Pally, as a charity, as a company, they're going to do an incredible amount of work in the next 10 months with the title sponsor and the PDC. And I can't wait to walk in here in early December and see what it looks like.
Right, well that's then. Let's talk about the now, right? We've got 2 semi-finals coming up. First on stage, Luke Littler against Ryan Searle. Now, I'm a big fan of Luke Littler. I know you two are as well. He's only dropped, 2 sets on his way to the last 4. That was against Rob Cross in round 4. Last game was under 40 minutes, he won, what, 5-0. I can't, even if he has an off day, I can't see anyone. I think
he's had one already where he averaged 97, and the rest of it's been incredible. So it's too late. He's had his off day. I just don't see how. We dig deep into the metrics to try and find any kind of patterns or any. Is there a reason why he's not going to average 105? And there isn't any. There's more evidence that he's going to average 105 than not. He's just a phenomenon.
Let me ask you both this question. It's horrible. Before you want to have a think about it, okay? Phil Taylor's on 16. Luke's looking for his second. If they went head to head in their pomp, who wins that game? Who's the better player?
Taylor.
You think Taylor's, even though averages suggest it's Luke?
No, they don't.
They don't.
Taylor has averages that are still record averages, tournament averages, statistics which still stack up well above what Luke's doing. And there's a big difference playing against Phil Taylor than playing against a Ryan Saw or a Luke Humphries or a Gary Anderson or an MVG. They don't have the mental capacity to almost make you wilt before it even starts.
I think this is right. If you look at the 2009 European Championship, which I believe is Phil Taylor's peak, he averaged 110 for 5 games. And then against Gary Anderson in the quarters, he averaged 118. We haven't seen that level from Luke in a place like this. So
and the boards are way better now. Way better and way
easier. Can you explain, elaborate?
Well, because they've got the wires even thinner, the target area is even bigger. So the boards that I would have been playing on in the late 90s are between, depending on which brand, the modern board today is between 12 and 15% bigger. So when people talk about Bristow and, we only average 95, put 12% on it.
The actual size of the ball was the same,
size of the
but the actual area that you could throw it up into is bigger now because the wires are a lot thinner.
Yeah, so they basically.
What percentage is that?
And it's a bit like what they do. It's between 12 and 15% bigger.
That's huge.
Yeah, with a game about small margins, it makes a huge difference. And of course, it's better for the fans. So you get more 180s, 9. But look when 9 data started happening. There's no coincidence.
So me actually then, Paul, do you think then Littler's at his peak? Well, because how much further can he go? Because right now he's showing us then things that be like, mind-blowing. So how much better can he get? Because that's quite scary.
I think there's going to be a peak from him. There's going to be a tournament he plays in the next 5 years where we think it can't get any better than that. I haven't seen his peak yet. I've seen him average 117 in best of 7 legs. That's the kind of level we can expect from him in set play. He set a set average record here last year of 140. I can't even conceive of anybody getting any better than that because that was 32 darts in a set. I mean, some people
takes me a leg, 32 darts.
So I think there's going to be a tournament where he finds the sweet spot, a bit like Taylor did in 2009 at the Euros in Hoofddorp in the Netherlands. I just think he'll probably average 112, 115 for a tournament.
I think if he takes the sport seriously, which probably sounds mad, but he didn't even bring a dartboard with him.
What do you mean?
Well, he's staying in a rented house, so the players now have all these, what they call them, like a travel board that comes up on a frame, gives you an off-key, and you can practice.
Yeah, did that.
Don't be wrong with him, didn't bother practicing.
John Daly was a great golfer and he didn't used to go to the range much.
No.
Yeah, but it's different. At the moment, with a golf club in your bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah, it can do a bit of damage. Yeah, I think at the moment, because he's so, he started so young, and it's like when you learn how to walk, it just becomes second nature. Darts to him and throwing at the board, just is second nature because it's inbuilt. But at some point, when, what's the phrase, hard work beats talent and talent does work hard, he will reach a point where everybody will sort of catch him up a little bit and then he might have to grab.
We've sadly got to let you go. Give me a prediction for both. Luke Littler, these are both live on talkSPORT, by the way. Who would up against for 7 week come off air? Luke Littler, what score will he beat Ryan Self? Sorry, Ryan Self fans. I'm being honest, we all think Luke's going to win.
I think we've already said that Littler's going to win the game because all the metrics do tell us this. I think Littler's going to win 6 sets to 1.
Okay, and the other one, which is second up, Gary Anderson against Jan van Veen.
This could be absolutely anything. They met once before in the Slam 16-14. It was a while ago. It was 2024 in favour of Anderson. So if Van Veen was that close to him then, this version of Van Veen's better than that version. So I think this could go 6-5 either way. But
boys, listen, keep up the great work. I mean, darts doesn't work unless you two work, so that's very good. Before I let you go, since we came on here, Darren Bennett's been trying to hit a 180. If he hits the treble, it stays there. You two are professional dart players, right? You can choose one of them to take you 3 darts. Who do you want to do it? Chris, if you like to step up these 3, you've got to put your foot on the
freezing cold and I've got a coat on, but no excuses.
Okay, you can take it.
That's what Paul for earlier. So we've seen it, bro.
Here we go, Chris. First start, he's got to get one treble. It gets out the board, so nothing there. That's all. Oh dear, maybe you should be watching this one. He got 3 of them. He got another one. Boys, give up the go. Thank you so much. A round of applause for wonderful Chris Place and Paul Nicholson. We're going to have a quick break. I'm looking at my producer. Is Gary Anderson going to join us next? He's given me a thumb up, so make sure you stay with us. Semi-finalist Gary Anderson joins me and Benny live on Drive on talkSPORT right after this.
Mr. Q. At Mr. Q, we tell it how it is. When players win, they love Q. Like the Portuguese prima donna loves polishing sculpture of herself. But when players lose, they hate Q, like a last-minute VAR controversy. Mr. Q, the casino you love to hate. And you'll love 100 free spins on Big Bass Splash with your first deposit. Play at MrQ.com or the app. UK 18 plus residents only. Minimum £10 first deposit. 10p per spin. Free spins must be used with 48 hours of deposit. All willing to pay in cash. T's and C's apply. Basic.
January. A month of no sun, no carbs, no sugar, and no commission on your investments with IG. That's not like it. Plus, get up to £2,000 cash back when you transfer your portfolio. Search IG.com and start the year the right way. IG. Trade, invest, progress. Your capital's at risk. Other fees may apply. New customers only. Offer valid until 31st of January 2026 on ISA GIA recipients. T's and C's apply.
Sky presents their fastest action release ever. Critics are calling it the internet event of the year. Perfect for action-packed homes. Smoother streaming. The UK's fastest broadband speeds from any major provider have landed. GigaFast Plus. Out now. Sky. Believe in better.
Available to 12% of UK hubs. Verify at sky.com/fastest speeds.
Will this year bring more trade wars or trade deals? Will revolutions be abroad or in the workplace? The future's uncertain, but the facts shouldn't be. For trusted reporting and in-depth analysis, start your year with a special offer from the Times and Sunday Times of £1 for 4 months. Get all the latest breaking news and subscriber benefits from Times Plus. Visit thetimes.com now for your discounted digital subscription. 18 plus, new customers only, T's and C's apply.
They say life's about the little ones. At 32 Red, we say you deserve big ones. So we give you incredible jackpot slots like the side of 80 fortunes, Jackson Rich's Wild and Mega Boola Megalway with huge cash prizes. Join and get a welcome bonus up to £150. Play incredible at 32 Red. 18 plus with gambleware.org. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. Up to 50 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
talkSPORT travel with Subway. Now serving deliciously fluffy spots with fan-favorite fillings. Lunchtime legend.
Good evening. Long delays on the M1 in County Down. The motorway is partly blocked southbound at junction 7 at the A1 south of Lisbon at the scene of an accident, causing long tailbanks halfway to Belfast. On the Hertfordshire stretch of the M25, the outside lanes closed clockwise to junction 17 at Maple Cross following a collision involving a couple of lorries queued back to the M40. And the snow affecting roads in Paris, the A483 south of Newtown, is just about passable through Plan Vista. I'm Johnny Ratner.
Thinking about goals this time of year? Like saving money or buying a new car? Well, right now you can save £3,750 on the all-electric Mini Countryman with the electric car grant. Yeah, 2 goals in one, and you get more space, more adventure, more Mini than ever. I feel a cheeky little smile coming on. Start living the big life for less and save £3,750 with the electric car grant. Visit mini.co.uk/grant. Grant available for specifications up to £42,000. T's and C's apply.
Sunday afternoon, live championship football on talkSPORT 2.
Middlesbrough versus Southampton.
Oh, that's magnificent! Toys from Stu, kick-off 3 p.m. Have I done it? Sunday afternoon on the football station for the people. talkSPORT 2.
Get your boots on, Billy.
Welcome back to Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent with live from Andy Pally ahead of the BBC World Darts Championship semi-finals tonight. And joining us now is one of the men in action. It gives me great pleasure to say hello to the legend that is Gary Anderson. Hello, legend Gary Anderson.
All right, good boys.
Good. Let me just put that in front of your mouth so people at home can hear you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good.
Firstly, thank you so much for coming down to join us today, because I'm guessing it's such a busy afternoon for you guys, right?
Yeah. Supposed to be doing the practicing, getting ready.
We got double deck. Just tell us about what you've been up to today then. Have you practiced yet today?
Not a lot, just a nice busy day in the room. Wife and kids were out shopping, so I had a nice peaceful afternoon.
When you arrived at Ali Valley, it feels like about 18 months ago for this year's World Championship. It's a long event now.
Yeah.
Genuinely, what were your aspirations realistically? What were you hoping to achieve?
Just get past the first round. You know, if every one of us even look comfortable, it's getting past that first game. There's a lot of pressure in that first game, and then after that, whatever happens, happens.
Do you think the first round is long enough? I've always had this problem. I think the first 3 sets could cause an upset too early.
It's good though, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I went first round last year to Jeffrey, and yeah, I think if I'd waited longer, I was still going to get beat by him anyway, so it didn't really matter. But it throws up some good results.
Is it a case of you know now you have to start fast?
You've got to nowadays. I mean, the talent that's coming through in the darts, it's second to none now, so it's getting harder and harder every year.
Have you noticed that as well? Because we were speaking before about some of the young players that are coming through, and obviously Van der Veen, obviously that's coming through, 23 years old. This emergence of a young darts player, have you noticed that the level's going up and up and up?
The level's not going up. It's the same as what we boys are still hitting, you know, us old lads. It's just that there's more of them.
Yeah.
You know, before you maybe have 20 that could hit 100, 105 average. And now you've got 128. So it's no, I wouldn't say they're getting any better than us, or better as in averages wise. There's just more that can hit them.
Tell me about your own game. At the moment, you've had some great results. Michael Van Gogh, and of course, 4-1 in round 4, I think that was.
Yeah.
You must be delighted with your form so far.
Yeah, it's going alright. I still like to have a good high 100 plus average, but it's been kicking away. There's been some very good legs, and then a couple of legs it's not been too clever, but when it's come to the main point of I managed to check out when I needed to.
Do you put that down to anything? Are you doing anything different, or is it just one of those, it's clicking now, it didn't click last time?
Yeah, no, that's one of these things. Like I say, they say, how are you going to play tonight? I've not got a clue. Well, I get on that stage and start playing, and I'll soon know how it's going to go.
You still get the same buzz when you come in, obviously you're two-time world champion, you come here, you still get that same kind of energy.
Exactly, you know, and like I say, next year we're moving to the Great Hall.
Yeah, right, where are we going now?
We're going now, so it'll be really good I'll still be playing, so I'll definitely walk through in that
Have
stage.
you ever played in here?
No.
You haven't? No, obviously news the World Championship. I know you weren't that there. I know that. No, I know that. You might have come as a fan to watch, I don't know. Yeah. Listen, Benny mentioned that you're two-time champion of the world. You did it 2 times on the bounce. Very rare. It's not. It doesn't
And I lost in the third against Michael Van Gogh.
That's right. But to get 2 on the bounce is very rare. Luke Littler's looking to achieve that this year. How difficult is it to defend a world title?
It's hard enough winning one. Never mind defending it, you know. And when I came back the second year, right for the word goal, my darts were brilliant. You know, I played really well, and yeah, it's just one of the things. But it's like I say, getting here and playing in this World Championships, that's the hardest part of this tournament. I wouldn't say winning it; it's just getting here and playing it and finding it on that stage.
You've got a good record against your opponents, do you know it? I know it. If you don't, do you know it?
Don't jinx me.
So you've got a really bad record against your opponents. So you might be able to tell me. Okay, well, I won't tell you what it is.
I've played, a few times.
You played 5 times.
Yeah, but I think they absolutely battered me and Peter in the World Cup.
Okay.
So.
Well, I was going to ask, does that count for anything? Not necessarily tonight, but whenever you meet someone in the last 4 World Championship.
Yeah, I've got a bit of laugh with you, but it means nothing. Like I say, Jan, he's he's already up there now, but he's going to be around for a long, long time. Lovely lad, clever lad, got his head well screwed onto his shoulders. You know, he's just getting better and better.
Do you watch other players? Do you watch it down last night? You don't? Does anyone? Does it do that?
I don't know if any boys watch that. So maybe if it's popped up or the boys watching it, I'll sit and watch for 5 minutes. But I don't really watch that. No.
£1 million goes to the winner. You won in 2015 and 16. Can you remember what it was when you won? I don't know the answer to that.
I think it's about 35 quid.
I thought you said 26.
No, I think it. Off my head, 350.
Okay. I mean, that's still crazy money. What, 10 years ago?
Back then,
£1 million is insane, right?
Yeah. Tax man will be rubbing sand, won't he?
I was watching you, I think yesterday you were interviewed about just how big darts is now and how many tournaments there are to play and how difficult it is for darts players to play in every single event. You don't do that now, you pick and choose, right?
I do. I mean, it's a travelling. I mean, it's great to be these youngsters, you know, they go all over the world. I've been all over the world and I've loved every minute of it. You know, I've seen countries that I've dreamt about going to, but I've done it with playing darts. But it's a hectic schedule. It's real bad, especially for the Premier League players.
Yeah. Okay, I won't bother asking you if you're going to be in that, because you mentioned a hectic schedule. You've got one now. I'm under strict instructions to let you go in about 3 seconds' time. Gary Anderson, a real pleasure and an honour. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck by Collect tonight as well. A round of applause for Gary Anderson, looking to book his place in the final of two. You can go, I won't keep you anymore. Thank you so much. Sorry if it mucked your hair up, but it didn't. It looks great. He said he's going to go over there and try and win 50 quid. Right, how good's that? Gary Anderson will be on stage second. He plays Jan Van Veen second tonight. First up is Luke Littler against Ryan Sell. Both of those semi-finals will be live on talkSPORT. talkSPORT build-up begins in an hour's time. Before we go to break, it's time for Darren Bell to try and get a 180. Yeah. So all night he's been playing. Hold on, before you do it, in case nobody join us, his mission is to get a 180. You might think that's difficult, but if he throws a dart and it lands in treble, it stays there, and then we only have 2. We carry on. So far he's got none in the treble since we took that's 20 minutes, not a treble. Second shot is a treble 1, that's close, and a 5. Don't laugh at him, it's difficult. The last hour of our drive time show is coming out right after this, and it's an hour you do not want to miss. We'll see you right after this.
Get ahead of the game every supercharged sporting Saturday on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Make the warm-up a part of your weekly matchday ritual. Rival preview of all the upcoming unmissable football action. Absolutely first class. With expert predictions, pitch-perfect analysis, and a top-flight lineup of guests. Guaranteed. The warm-up with Max Rushton and Charlie Baker. Tomorrow morning from 9 on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade.
This season, I want to feel it from the start. Want to beat the odds and prove them all wrong. Look them in the eye and say, want to bet? Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
When you start January with so much sport, you turn a leftover cracker into Bakayo Saka. A winter chill into an alley patty thrill. And last week's mince pie into a 9 data high. Astonishing game! With the final round of the data alley pally and the Premier League in the new year, turn your January into Sky Sports List Chill. Get flexible now membership at nowtv.com. 18 plus UK illegal by 2.5 megabytes per second required. Full terms apply.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to celebrate. Non-event way to start the new year. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on that. Account terms, rules and procedures. Players must be 18 or over.
Will this year bring more trade wars or trade deals? Will revolutions be abroad or in the workplace? The future is uncertain, but the facts shouldn't be. For trusted reporting and in-depth analysis, start your year with a special offer from the Times and Sunday Times of £1 for 4 months. Get all the latest breaking news and subscriber benefits from Times Plus. Visit thetimes.com now for your discounted digital subscription. 18 plus, new customers only, T's and C's apply.
Mr. Q. At Mr. Q, we tell it how it is. When players win, they love Q. Like the Portuguese prima donna loves polishing sculpture of himself. But when players lose, they hate Q. Like a last-minute VAR controversy. Mr. Q, the casino you love to hate. And you'll love 100 free spins on Big Bass Splash with your first deposit. Play at MrQ.com or on the app. UK 18 plus residents only. Minimum £10 first deposit. 10p per spin. Free spins must be used with 48 hours of depositing. All willing to pay in cash. T's and C's apply. Play safely.
On DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT. talkSPORT Sports Update with Trusted Trader. When it matters, get the job done marvellously well by a verified Trusted Trader professional. talkSPORT.
Good evening, 1 minute past 6, serious sports headlines. Liam Rossini has been asked about Chelsea in today's Strasbourg press conference.
To say I'm definitely going to be somewhere or definitely going to do something, that I don't think that's right, because in life, things happen. I have no control over that, but what I can say, I absolutely love it here. I've enjoyed working from the first day I came here till now, and that will continue for as long as I'm here.
Meanwhile, Chelsea's under-21s coach Callum McFarlane is gearing up for his first ever game in charge of any senior team, and it's against Pep Guardiola on Sunday.
I'm quite relaxed about it, if I'm honest. I'm sure as I get closer to the game, it will become maybe more nerve-wracking, more daunting, but I haven't worked at this level before, of course, but the lads today were brilliant, and it fills you with confidence that it's a team effort.
Meanwhile, Brighton have confirmed the return of Pascal Gross from Borussia Dortmund for an undisclosed fee on a deal until 2027. Brennan Johnson's move to Palace has been confirmed on a 4.5-year deal, and he's expected to be in the squad to face Newcastle on Sunday. Nicholas Füllkrug has joined AC Milan on loan till the end of the season. And live on talkSPORT tonight, the semi-finals of the World Darts Championships and Ali Pali. First up, Gary Anderson versus the young pretender who idolised him growing up, Jan van Veen. The Dutch giant's been asked about how much the deficit in experience is on his mind.
Even when it's a close game, he knows he can close it out. I haven't any very close game. Of course, yesterday was closing legs, but 5-1 in sets is not very close. So maybe if it gets close tonight, he's got the experience here on this stage to win that kind of game. I don't think it matters too much.
Correction, that semi-final will follow. Lou Littler versus Ryan Searle. Live coverage follows Drive at 7.
talkSPORT News.
A deadly fire at a Swiss ski resort bar is believed to have been started by sparklers in champagne bottles, and Elon Musk's company loses the title of world's biggest electric vehicle maker. More than ever at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got more premium tyres than the number of times you'll hear, "Ooh, it's a bit nippy this winter." Book today at quickfit.com.
Frequent snow showers continue across northern Scotland. Otherwise, it will be a dry, cold night with frost developing widely.
On 10:89 and 10:53 a.m. and on your smart TV. talkSPORT Drive. Sports radio so good, you'll want to stay in that car. talkSPORT Drive. Dual headed, quad-wheel dialogue, delivered at the speed of sport. Go! talkSPORT Drive.
Welcome back to Lockdown Job on talkSPORT. It's me, a very cold Andy Goldstein, next to an equally cold Darren Ben. Still to come, we're previewing a huge weekend of Premier League action, including Manchester United trip to Leeds. But now, you can probably guess, judging by the noise around us, we're here at Ali Pali, and the semi-finals of the World Championships, they are just around the corner.
Double 16, he only needed one. And for the first time, Jan van Veen goes through to the semi-finals of the PDC World Darts. How can you not love this sport? Uncharted territory for the man from Devon. Makes it through to the last four at Alexandra Palace for the first time ever. This is heavyweight darts.
It's seldom you come across a sportsman that changes the game.
Lou Littler once again through to the final four here. Business taken care of.
Gary's in the other half, so obviously it'll be me and Gary in the final. Can I go back to back? We'll never know.
That is simply magnificent.
Yeah, we're just over an hour away now from the start of play at Ali Pali with Lou Littler taking to the stage against Ryan Searle, the first semi-final tonight. Now, earlier on, I did our next two guests a disservice. I said darts only works on the radio because of Chris Mason, Paul Nicholson. I forgot about Mark Wilson and Ian Danton that make up our brilliant quartet of darters or dart commentators. Either way, Mark and Dan, it's good to see you both. We're not going to argue with that, are we? I have to say that it only works darts on the radio because of you four. I said you two, don't take all the credit. But you four have been nothing short of brilliant whenever you do the darts for talkSPORT. And I just feel, I don't know about you, but I always feel every time we get to a World Championship every year, it gets bigger and bigger and better and better. We're at the last four stage now, we've got today and then it all ends tomorrow night. How have you found this year's World Championship, Dan?
It's been extraordinary. The field was expanded this year to 128 players for the first time, so that's a novelty. We've seen some incredible stories throughout, haven't we, Mark? We've seen like Nitin Kumar, an Indian winner for the first time. We've seen Justin Hood on debut surprise everybody by getting all the way through to the quarterfinals. We've seen, great atmospheres. Here we are in this room where next year, this is where the action will take place in this great hall. There's been so many wonderful moments.
Yeah, I think when they expanded the field, you worried that there are going to be a lot of one-sided games. And we've seen stars from Japan, from Switzerland, from India, America winning games here for the first time. I think it's worked, and I think the fact that we've seen a guy from Africa win on this stage here, what's that going to do for darts in Africa? They can get here with 15,000 just for getting here, and the riches of the world that are on offer. So I think it's just expanded everything.
We're down to the last four, Dan. Do we have the best four left?
Well, that's
know what it takes to go all the way and lift the thing. Searle, I'm a bit of a Searle fanboy. I've been a fan of his for some time. Delighted that he's there. He's such a shy and unassuming fella. He's talked in great detail about the visual stigmatism he suffers from that he's passed on to his daughter. But he's got through to the last ball, played some smashing stuff. But Van Veen, there's something about what he's doing, I think, at these championships that's making everybody think, well, if somebody can give Littler a game, maybe it's him.
Absolutely can. You look at the stats, you mentioned how we got the best full year we have. You look at the stats, that bears that out. These are at the top of all the big stats, all the big averages, top 5 averages in the tournament from the 4 guys that we're going to see tonight. So it's going to be a cracking night.
But let me ask you in terms of shocks, because as you say, Van Veen has been incredible, but that last night was almost like a statement. I know he's beaten him 4 times previous to that,
yes,
but to do it in the manner that he did it, that would have made everyone go, oh, okay.
Well, that just shows that it's not coincidence that what he'd done before the European Championships and other events where Van Veen had got the knock on Humphreys. And you could see about 2/3 of the way through that game, Luke was probably thinking, I can't do anything here. There's nothing I can do to wrest control of this game back from Van Veen. Hugely impressive. There have been other great shocks in this tournament. One of the games of the tournament I covered was Justin Wood knocking out Danny Knopper in one of the early, but just and Mark was calling me the game pick because I was picking out all these games that went to sudden death later, but that was just an extraordinary game of darts. And the story of Justin Hood, let's see how that develops into next year. I mean, there's all the jokes about buying a Chinese restaurant and all that with the winning six, but genuinely, his first year on tour, he's broken into the top 100. What can he do next year? Because he said to me in an interview, he felt he was being a bit lazy about the amount he practiced. So if he applies himself going into this year, what can he achieve?
That's when Benny asked you about Luke Littler, you said Van Veen might give him a run for his money. Does that mean Van Veen beats Gary Anderson tonight?
We've been talking about that, haven't we? And it's certainly not impossible. But I mean, Ando has been posting some fantastic surplus averages, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think the key stat for me, the difference I think there'll be tonight is that Van Veen's finishing has been magnificent. Gary's has been okay, and he was very good against Todd. He went on a solid finish that win the game. He's going to have to do that again tonight. I think if he's fractionally off on his finishing, I think Jan will beat him. I mean, we've seen this guy rewind to the beginning of last year, seen him in tears in the hotel at Jan Lambert. He lost in a Pro Tour event. He missed I think 7 darts to win his first ever title. He was there in tears. I saw him the next day and he admitted he wasn't going to.
Huge clubs aiming for automatic promotion who met yesterday live on talkSPORT 2. Runaway Championship leaders Coventry falling to a first home defeat of the season as promotion chasers Ipswich boosted their own top 2 hopes with a deserved victory. Jack Clark's effort taking a huge deflection off the former town defender Luke Wolfenden to put the visitors in front with less than 20 minutes to play. Sutwest Burns wraps up the pointers. A 2-0 win victory for Kieran McKenna's side, their second over Coventry this month after a 3-0 win at Port Monroe. They cut the gap to second place Middlesbrough to just 2 points. But Frank Lampard's Sky Blues remain 8 clear of Borough after they lost to Hull City. Kieran McKenna's side have now won 4 of their past 6 games. They move into the automatic promotion race after their inconsistent start to the season. Let's hear from him. He doesn't believe it was a statement victory for his side.
This is a 46-game season. The challenges are really varied. We've got a completely different challenge now at Oxford on Thursday night, coming to our stadium. Then we go away to Portsmouth 3 days later. It's going to be another really tough game. So, yeah, we have belief in how we can play, and especially against teams who play against us a little bit more. But, it's going to take all different types of victories, all different types of qualities to be successful over the second half of the season. And, of course, tonight's one to enjoy.
I think he's right, Kieran McKenna, to keep the tractor boys' feet on the ground because they flattered to deceive previously this season. We thought, this is it, they're back. Remember that 5-0 win over Sheffield United? You were like, well, they're going to go now and put together a big run and be right up there. And obviously they're not too far away, but a bad result hasn't been too far away for them either. Difficult to judge how good a job he's doing as well, because currently their improvements up the table feel just like, I don't know if it's the same for you, Joe, but it's almost like their squad is overpowered. It's just so good, so many good players, that it's hard to judge whether he, tactically, is actually doing a great job. Am I being harsh?
No, I think the expectation is huge on them. I think if you ask most
people around, they'll say that they've got the best squad in the Championship. And I think when they got up to the Premier League, they recruited for going back down to the Championship and having a team to go straight back up again. And they do have a huge squad. And it's tough sometimes to go from losing most weeks in the Premier League to turn that round and all of a sudden try and build that winning mentality. But they're slowly getting there. And I think the one thing with Ipswich is they'll be scaring a lot of people. I think when they get on a run, there's going to be a lot of people thinking, oh, they could go and win 5, 6, 7 games on the bounce. And they've only won back-to-back games this season twice. So if they go on a run like Cop do, where they go and win 6, 7, 8 games, they could challenge Coventry, not just for the automatics, but for the title. And they're not out of that at the minute. And he's playing them down a lot. But apart from Coventry, we don't see anyone who's been consistent in the Championship this season.
How big a message is it about Ipswich's capabilities that they've run out 5-0 aggregate winners over Coventry, the runaway leaders, in the 2 matches they've played against them?
Yeah, it's huge. From what Coventry have done this season, take away those 2 fixtures, Coventry have lost 1 game in 22 games. So, for what Ipswich have done, they've got one over on Coventry. I think what Coventry have done, it just steamrolled other teams and Coventry, they haven't just won by 1 goal. A lot of the time they won by 3, 4, 5 and even more at times. So I think a lot of people go into the fear of playing Coventry at the minute, but Ipswich have a way. They know they've got a manager who's been there for a number of years now. They've got a set way of playing, and the more players, the new players especially, go into that style and realise what it's about to play for a Kieran McKenna's Ipswich team. I just think they're going to get stronger and stronger, and I think other teams now will look at them and think, like I said a minute ago, that they could easily go on a run, and having someone like Wes Burns back, who's been instrumental to them over the last couple of years before his injury, I think it's another big boost for them. And again, I think they'll go big in January. They've obviously got the backing behind them, and it wouldn't surprise me if they go and make 1 or 2 kind of statement signs to say, look, we're not going anywhere. We want to not just get up automatically, we want to win this league.
2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats in the past 6 for Frank Lampard's side. Do they have to be wary that this doesn't become something a bit bigger for them? They've got Charlton and Birmingham away in the next 2.
Not really. Look, they've done so well this season to be in the position that they're in. They're going to have blips. It's a Championship. There's so many games. It's so tough to be so consistent for so long. So I don't think they'll be looking at that and thinking we're going through a bad run of results. If you can pick up 8 points from 6 games and think they're in a bad run of form, then you've obviously done something quite right throughout the rest of the season. And they've got 2 really winnable games coming up against 2 teams that are in bad form. That are desperate to kind of, with Charlton to stop the Rotten Birmingham to kind of kickstart their season. So I still think Coventry are a powerhouse in this division and one that I think will still get promoted. But I think once you start looking too far ahead and thinking, if you're a player and thinking, oh, we could be up by March if we win 12 more games, 14 more games, whatever it is, I think that's when the problems start. But Frank Lampard will I think it's quite good that they've had I say it's a blip, it's not really a blip, but have lost a couple of games in the last 6 to show that look, they're not immortal, they are beatable, and they've got to be on their A game if they want to progress out of the league.
Okay, all right, that's the voice of the former Wigan captain, currently Reading co-CEO Joe Jacobson. I'm Hugh Wisencroft. This is EFL All Access. Coming up, we're going to continue to assess the race for promotion in the Championship. Hull City securing a big win. Javi Gracia continues to work wonders at Watford, and Wrexham finally finding their feet in the division. All of that comes next.
And all of the car finance agreements that you had before 2021 just appeared on screen, along with your potential compensation amount. That's all you have to do on this claim checker from Make a PCP Claim. In 60 seconds, you'll be able to see how many car finance agreements you've had at your name and how much compensation you could potentially be owed for a recent car finance scandal. So, the double click to 186 now to check your potential payout in 60 seconds. The FCA are currently consulting on a redress scheme. Claims can be made free by the Financial Ombudsman.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to celebrate. Not a bad way to start the new year. Euro National Lottery. Play on that. Account terms and conditions. Play for the 18 word.
When life gives you that hump day feeling, Deliveroo gives you the fuel to power through with a top-up shop delivered in as little as 20 minutes. Keep the fridge full with your favourite essentials from Co-op, Morrison's and Sainsbury's. And even better, your fresh and chilled groceries are covered with the freshness promised or the money back. Deliveroo, now just got even better. Geographical restrictions, T's and C's and fees apply. Delivery times vary. See app or web for info.
One click and you're safer online with NordVPN. Block malware, avoid phishing, and stop annoying online trackers. NordVPN is an all-around cybersecurity tool that encrypts your traffic. Besides, a single NordVPN account protects up to 10 devices. Get the best deal at NordVPN.com.
Sky presents their fastest action release ever. Critics are calling it the internet event of the year. Perfect for action-packed homes. Smoother streaming. The UK's fastest broadband speed to any major provider have landed. GigaFast Plus. Out now. Sky. Believe in better.
Available to 12% of UK homes. Verify sky.com/fastest speeds.
Right, brace yourself. At Co-op you can get 2 pizzas and a tub of Ben & Jerry's for a £5. Yep, a £5. It's kind of a big deal, eh?
You're unbelievable.
Co-op, owned by you, right by you.
End 2nd of January. Selected products subject to availability. Card proof list or only card.co.uk for details.
talkSPORT 2. Traffic and travel.
Long delays in County Down do continue on the M1. The motorway is restricted southbound to junction 7 near Lisbon at the scene of a collision. And the long queues are relentless on the Hertfordshire stretch of the M25 clockwise, with the outside lanes blocked off at junction 17 at Maple Cross, and that is at the scene of an accident. Meanwhile, the A5 in Gwynedd is being affected by snow at Capel Fury, and the A483 down at Cowes just south of Newtown. I'm Johnny Batman.
The Social, Monday afternoon from 3 on talkSPORT 2. In-depth look at the biggest sports stories. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby. Some phenomenal guests.
You can't get to this one after showing the former show, I don't think. This is the place to be.
That's a ripper. The Social, Monday afternoon from 3. It's on talkSPORT 2. This is talkSPORT 2. On DAB+, online, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. EFL All Access on talkSPORT 2.
This is EFL All Access. I am Hugh Wozencroft alongside Reading's co-CEO Joe Jacobson. Let's continue our conversation about the promotion chasers in the Championship. Middlesbrough, second place, beaten by Hull City, who are chasing Darko Javi's goal, earning them an impressive win at Borough. It moves them to within 2 points of their second place opponents. Defeat at the Riverside means Borough have now gone 3 games without a win or a goal. And now they have the playoff pack breathing down their necks in the chase for promotion. That defeat comes just 24 days after Kim Helberg's Borough had won 4-1 in the reverse fixture at the MKM. But Borough have suffered from injury and absences in recent games. And the honeymoon period for their head coach is possibly over. His team won his first 4 games in charge, but that appears to be over. This loss follows a defeat at Bristol City and a goalless home draw against Blackburn. They came up against the Hull side, which has now won 4 out of 5. An impressive start for Sergei Yakirovich, and whilst he accepts fans' growing excitement about the thought of promotion, that isn't the priority for him right now.
You can do it. You can have a target. My target is as soon as possible to reach 50 points. This is enough for that you're staying in the league. This is my first target. Of course, second target is top 10. But we will see. End of February match, we will be in this position. We will push for sure. And also, it's very important our transfer window, which in our circumstances is very difficult. We will try to maybe to bring players that can improve this team.
I mean, I get what he's saying, Joe, but listen, there's no reason for Hull City not to be kind of singing, you know, let's go and do what we can to try and get out of this division, because that's kind of the way they play football. They just kind of go for it, and it's great to see. You know, why try and and dampen spirits right now. They're absolutely flying. Just live it up. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I know what you like, and I get this a lot, and you hear it a lot, don't you, from managers just playing it down. So they don't want to put extra pressure on all of a sudden say, oh, we're fourth now, we want to go for automatic promotion. They go and lose 2 or 3 in the bounce, end up being 8th, and everyone's going, well, you're not automatic promotion contenders anymore. I remember we had it at Wickham a few years ago where all we talked about in the press that the remit from the club was survival, want to get 55 points. We hit 55 points when we were top of the league in January, and the players are still talking about survival. So, sometimes you've got to adapt, and also as a player, you want to know that you're going for promotion all the time. You always want to win. You always want to achieve things, and why can't they? And like I said, apart from Coventry, no one's consistent this year. Those playoff places and that one automatic place is up for grabs by so many teams, anyone in the top half really. So why can't Hull be one of those teams?
I think they really could, especially if they can harness the spirit of the fans who are delighted, obviously, the way things went last year under Ruben Sayers, staying up at the final day of the season. Let them enjoy it, let them live it up. I think they should. I think that should be the kind of noise coming out of the football club. We might be underdogs, but we can definitely do it. I understand the remit given to him by the club, especially after last year, was survival, and I understand why he's playing it down, but the spirit of the football club's probably what's taken them so far, and all the players look so happy to be there. I would just be saying, let's go for it every single week, let's do it. And to be honest, that is what they're doing, so maybe the conversations are different behind closed doors. Borough, they've tailed off just a little bit after the brilliant start under Kim Helberg. Is this their chance to go up? In that case, and they've got great ownership of the football club, do you think they should be going strong in the transfer window in January? Which areas of the pitch do you think Borough should be looking to strengthen?
Yeah, like I just said then, I think if there's ever an opportunity, it's now. There's no, keep mentioning it, the 3 Premier League teams who have come down haven't hit it off. They're not up there as yet. Ipswich are on a good run and probably will end up there, but I think if you're Middlesbrough or one of those other teams around it, I think now's the time to do it and to go for it. Like everyone else, everyone wants centre forwards who can score goals, and I think that they're just lacking a little bit of that at the minute. Morgan Whittaker's their top goal scorer from out wide. They could do it as centre forward, but as could probably 50 other clubs in the EFL that want to get them 20 goals a season. So if they can go and find someone, find a gem, whether the manager's got some contacts in Europe that he knows about a striker that may go off the radar a little bit. And I think now's the time where you see how good the recruitment teams are. I think in the summer it's a lot easier. There's a lot of players out of contract. You can start doing your work a little bit earlier. I think in the January transfer window it's all about trying to find those gems, those ones that are under the radar a little bit, that may be underutilised at their club currently. And if Middlesbrough can go and get a striker who can put the ball in the back of the net consistently, then I think they've got as good a chance as anyone else to get in those domestic places.
Watford are a club that we know loves the transfer window, and lots of players in and out. They beat Norwich City by 1-0 last night. Late goal coming from Vivaldo Semedo, and that moved Watford into the playoff spots. It was a game of really few clear-cut chances. Looked like it was heading for a goalless draw. Semedo, though, found the back of the net. Fortunately, I think, with a slight deflection on his strike in the 90th minute, but that result moves Javi Gracia's side up to 6th, following their 3rd straight win. Their unbeaten run now stretches to 6 games. Norwich stay in the relegation zone. They're on 4 games without defeat, coming to an end. Let's hear from the Watford boss. Javi Gracia isn't getting carried away. None of them are they? He's not getting carried away despite seeing his side move into the top 6.
It's not so important the results, but of course the results are consequence of the work, the way the team is improving, the way the team is competing. But we have a long way ahead of us, and we have to try to beat the money with ourselves. And this way, with better or not so good results, I think we achieve our objective.
Interesting one for Watford. Are they emerging for you as promotion dark horses? Do you think there's enough in that squad, especially if they can add to it in January?
I think they're probably ahead of where they'd expect to be. Well, I think from the outside, I think if you're the Potter family, you probably expect them to be in the Premier League every season. But you know, they have not upset teams. I think they're there because they deserve to be there. But I think they've gone under the radar quite well. I don't think a lot of people would have put them in their top 6. But again, like I said, I don't think it's the strongest championship. I think it's not going to be a massive points tally to get into the playoffs and to get the automatic places. And they're doing really, really well. They've still got Chakotadze, who's not firing at the minute, and I think on his day he's one of the best players in the division. So when he's firing and he's creating, he's scoring goals as well to add to the rest of the team. I think they're going to be a decent team, and you know, Harry Grazia's been there before. He's done it with promotion and his record at Watford previously. So they've got a man there who they probably brought in to do it again. Do I think they'll be in those top 6 places? I think it's going to be tough for them, but with some good recruitment over the summer, probably some from a specific Italian club will probably help, and yeah, we'll see where they end up come May.
I think there's a lot of talent. I watched them early on in the season when they weren't playing particularly well, and I left the game saying it's inexperience is the word, but talent. Plenty of young, talented players at Watford at the moment. And if they can harness that, despite the fact that there are a lot of young players obviously there, and a lot of inexperience, I think the top 6 finish is definitely on the cards, and that I think is what Javi Gracia is doing at the moment. On the other side of things, last night, Norwich City, it's so close to getting an important point. I start to think that they're going to be absolutely fine under Philippe Clement. As we said, 4 games unbeaten before that. Have you seen enough of them, Joe, to make you feel like this is a team that will avoid relegation?
Well, just when I think that they're going to be okay, they then hit a sticky patch again. Look, I think they've got the squad. I think they've got goal scorers in the team. They've got Josh Sargent, who's not been as prolific as he was last season, but someone who knows how to score goals. And I think a lot of the time for the teams down the bottom, it's finding someone who can win matches by themselves. And they brought in an experienced manager who's you know, got a great CV under his record. So they obviously brought him in to make sure that they don't go down. But it's the championship, and you know, it sucks teams in, doesn't it? And Norwich have found themselves in League One, you know, a decade or so ago. So it's going to be. I still think they're going to be okay. I think they've got enough good championship experience there, and I do think they'll climb up division. But you look at the teams in around the relegation zone. There's some big championship teams and teams that wouldn't expect to be down there that are down there. And there's a couple I think that will drop back down. But yeah, for me, Norwich will be okay, just because there's a couple of teams that I think have worse squads. But it may be one of those wake-up call seasons for them to say, you know what, we need to maybe do things a little bit differently. We may need to plan a little bit better. And the championship's just getting stronger and stronger.
Right, let's very quickly touch on 2 teams that seem to go together a lot, Wrexham and Birmingham. Wrexham beating Preston by 2-1, back-to-back league wins for the first time in the championship this season for Phil Parkinson's side. Nathan Broadhead and Ollie Rathbone with the goals for them. Their unbeaten run at home is now 10 games. They're 11th in the table, 4 points off the playoff spots. Well, Preston North End dropped to 7th after a first league loss in 8 games. So it was a positive Christmas period for Wrexham. Phil Parkinson thrilled to see his side and 2 valuable wins in recent days.
You know, it's important that, you know, we had a lot of praise after Sheffield United performance, and rightly so. We had to respond after the Swansea defeat, and tonight was about mentality and accountability as a team that, you know, could we go again, and I felt we did it terrifically well, and yeah, we'll rest up and we'll go again at Blackburn.
Big second half of the season coming for Phil Parkinson, I think. Certainly earned enough to see this through to the end of the campaign, but he does, I think, need to show that he's going to have enough quality as a manager that even if they don't go up this season, that they will feel confident he can do it for them next season. For you, is it as key as that for him that he does need to show, or do you feel actually slow and steady wins the race? It's a more long-term vision for Wrexham?
But I don't think it's a long-term vision, as in, you know, they've shown impatience and it's worked out for them in the last, you know, 3 or 4 years. I don't think they're slowing down. I think they want to progress and they want to get to the Premier League as quickly as possible. And, you know, it's crazy to think what he's done there, that he's ever been kind of under pressure to do something else. And if they go a couple of results that don't go well for them, all of a sudden there's talk that he's not the man for them, and you think it's ridiculous from what he's done. But they put themselves in a really, really strong position. I thought this season personally that they would finish mid-tablers. I don't think they, at the start, I thought that they would push for the playoffs. However, they're right in that mix, aren't they? They're 4 points off the playoffs. Again, I've spoken about many times already about striking to score goals, and with players like Kiefer Moore, like Josh Windows, who chip in, Nathan Broadhead, they can all score goals, and they've got that in their team. And I think with Phil Parkinson, they've got a solid unit of how they do things, how they play. Going to the racecourse is such a tough place to go. The crowd get behind them, they can play direct, they can play a little bit better than what people give him credit for, and he's done such a great job. I'm interested to see what they do in January, because I find the owners, again, I'm thinking that, a little bit of a push here, like they did last January when they signed Sam Smith, Jay Rodriguez, trying to get a couple of those players to come in just to improve them slightly. I think they could have a good kind of run to the playoffs in the second half of the season.
Okay, all right. Plenty still to discuss with Joe Jacobson, the former Wycombe captain. We're going to focus on Portsmouth's hopes of championship survival. We're going to get some insight into their season so far, and we'll also head into League One. Joe will give us his thoughts on the title race, the playoff chase as well. All of that coming after the break on EFL All Access.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app. This is talkSPORT 2. They are the prodigies of the pitch, the kings and queens of the courts, and the titans of turf and track. But who was the real deal? Every Tuesday morning from 10, join Jim White and Simon Jordan as they nominate the sporting star who's proved to be the real deal of the week. Don't miss the real deal with White and Jordan every Tuesday morning from on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's Real Deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to celebrate. Not a bad way to start the new year. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on that. Account terms, rules and procedures. Players must be 18 or over.
It might be midwinter, but there's nothing mid about this offer. The new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra brings every winter sport moment to life, as crisp as freshly laid snow. With its stunning 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display, razor-sharp resolution. But here's the real win. Claim £250 cashback, conveniently available to spend in your Samsung wallet. Purchase before January 29th from a participating retailer. Claim on the Samsung website within 30 days of purchase. T's and C's apply.
Kayak isn't just another flight comparison app. When you download the Kayak app, you download flight enlightenment. With Kayak, you see things others can't, like the latest great deals from airlines and booking sites. You can filter your searches and set up price alerts, so not now.
Oh, sorry.
So you're notified when there's a price drop on the flights you want. See more, do more, save more with Kayak. You can do the Gong now. Download the Kayak app today and go see for yourself.
At Lidl, we value getting you the most out of your money. Like switching from Tesco to Lidl and saving £32 on this week's big shop. See the savings at lidl.co.uk/usave and start the new year feeling like a savvy saver. Lidl, more to value. Prices check 10 for the 12th, 25. Tesco also sell other products. See online for more details.
On day 3 of leftovers for lunch, have a day off. Switch it up with a double cheeseburger for $2.49 on the McDonald's Saver menu.
Leftovers left the chat.
Talk about saver satisfaction. 7 from 11 a.m. Price of participation may vary. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability.
This is talkSPORT 2. On DAB+, online, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. EFL All Access on talkSPORT 2.
You're listening to EFL All Access. Hugh was and Croft, and the former Wycombe captain, now Reading's co-CEO, Joe Jacobson, with us. A very, very, very late win for Portsmouth, who beat Charlton by 2-1. Substitute Yang Min-juk scoring a dramatic stoppage time winner to beat Charlton and take Pompey out of the Championship relegation zone. They took the lead after 69 minutes through Connor Shaughnessy. Charlton equalised in the 6th minute of time added on through Harvey Nibs. They thought they'd rescued a point. However, straight down the other end, a long ball, it fell sixth league win of the season, extending their unbeaten run to 4 games. That loss, Charlton's 7th defeat in 9 games, and means that Nathan Jones' side slipped to 20th. They're just 2 points and 1 place above Portsmouth. Let's discuss it with Neil Allen, chief sports writer for the Portsmouth News. Good evening.
Evening.
First things first, Fran Park, the atmosphere is always incredible, but it must have been something special when that winner went in.
Yeah, it's funny because I've covered well over 1,000 games covering Pompey, and I've seen Pompey win the League One title in the last minute. I've seen an equaliser against rival Southampton in stoppage time. I've seen a goalkeeper score for Morecambe against Pompey, gets an equaliser in the 94th minute. But I've never seen anything like it I saw yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal. For somebody like me who's writing a match report, I had to write several intros in the space of a couple of minutes. It was at the top. So basically, Charlton equalised, and within 75 seconds, Pompey had won it with the last kick of the game. It was as well. So we've timed as well today. It's 11 seconds from when Pompey kicked off to when they scored. Phenomenal. Social media has been brilliant over the last 24 hours. Loads of fantastic videos going around from Charlton fans, obviously goading, singing how they always win at Fratton Park and never lose at Fratton Park, and there's somebody that stopped in their tracks. It's what makes football so special, isn't it?
Absolutely. It was an incredible moment, which I'm sure we'll be talking about towards the end of the season as well, as one of the kind of highlight, standout moments of the season, if you like, albeit the Charlton fans won't be too happy about that. It was very interesting to see the goal scorer, Yang. He has quality, doesn't always start, didn't start yesterday, 3rd goal of the season. It's come from Tottenham Hotspur, obviously, so we know he's got quality. Do you actually believe that we should have seen some more moments like this from him so far?
Yeah, until last night, he'd not done anything of note since mid-October, really. Yeah, he had a great spell mid-October where he scored in successive games. 2 lovely strikes, actually, technically superb. And then he got an assist, I think it was at Leicester. And then after that, he's disappeared. He really has. They've tried him on the right wing a couple of times. He looks better on the left. And in fact, it was his mistake by giving away a silly free kick in the build-up to Charlton's equaliser yesterday as well. But he's got something about him, but we just haven't seen enough. It's been frustrating because Pompey's 3 lone players haven't really fired, and he's one we thought would do well, especially around October. So hopefully what he did yesterday can now kick him on as well.
Generally on Portsmouth this season, would you maybe have expected to see a bit more of a step forward under John Mousinho? And the bigger picture, obviously, in terms of avoiding relegation, is relegation an absolute no for the football club? In which case, would John Mousinho be under pressure unless he can continue to pick up results?
Pompey overachieved that season. They finished 16th, stayed with 2 games to spare, which is a massive achievement considering one of the lowest budgets in the league. The stats that they were up until about December last year at the bottom, at the very bottom of the Championship. They had a superb end to the season, superb last half of the season really, buoyed by Colin Bishop coming back from his heart operation. He scored 11 goals in that period as well. So probably to stay up 2 games to spare and finish 16th, it was an overachievement. So this year, you could say, are they underachievement? I don't think they are with the squad. The squad needs to be strengthened. But they have to stay up. But it's all about it. Pompey aren't a League One club. Historically, Pompey aren't a Premier League club. But historically, Pompey are a Championship club. And it's been 12 years since Pompey came back to this division. They've been to the very bottom. They finished 16th in League Two, the lowest position in their history. At one time, they were fighting to avoid relegation to the non-league. So it's been a hell of a climb for Pompey through some awful times. I covered Pompey when they went 23 games without a win at one stage. You've never seen scenes of delirium and crew ever winning a crew, blimey. So Pompey are now back where they belong. It's still going to be difficult. They've still got one of the lowest budgets in the league. You've got Norwich below them, who you expect to get out, who spend a lot of money on players, and sold a lot of players as well. So it's going to be tough for Pompey, but they've got a very good manager. They recruited well in the past as well. and it's a big window for them.
Okay, we'll see if they can deliver something for the fans in January on the playoff run. I really appreciate you being with us. That's Neil Allen, chief sports writer for the Portsmouth News. League One is ridiculous at the moment. Joe Jacobson, let me ask you, just about, let's start with the top of the table, really. We've got Cardiff City, who are there at the moment at the top, second place. Lincoln beat Barnsley. Cardiff came from behind to beat Stevenage. They've got a 3-point lead at the top as well. Bradford are in third. They beat Port Vale. 4 points clear of them. It's very tight in terms of those top three. Obviously, the top three is where you want to be. What have you made of those three sides? Cardiff, Lincoln and Bradford.
Yeah, all being really strong this season. We played them all away from home, and lost all 3 games actually. Lincoln's first game of the season, and I remember speaking to the guys there, and I think they weren't really expecting to do too much this season. There's kind of directors behind the scenes, but you know what Marcus Caballo's done there has been incredible. And what I like about them is they've just gone so solid. They've got a lot of players who know the division, who are really experienced. You know, Derek Wells and Bradley James Collins. They've signed players who you know have success in this division as well, who are being promoted from this division. So I think that's really important to have in your squad. And once you get on a roll in the lower divisions, it's a bit more difficult in the championship, but in the lower divisions, anyone can kind of get that momentum, and all of a sudden you find yourselves in the top 2, in the top 6. And if you're in those positions now, you tend to end up around those positions come the end of the season. And you know, teams don't want to go to Lincoln, they don't want to go to Bradford. Cardiff City, obviously being from Cardiff and growing up there and starting my career at the club, I know what a fantastic club it is. And sometimes for someone like them, they need to go down and get relegated to almost galvanise the club again. And I speak to family and friends back home who go to the games, and it's just it's one of the most exciting seasons they've had in a long time. They've been in the Premier League in the last decade, so you know there's a real good feel factor around that club, and a team like Bradford to be right up there as well, who just got promoted last season. Again, Graham Alexander, what an incredible job he's done. But there's 3 managers there who know exactly what they want from their teams. You can watch any one of those 3 teams. You know exactly what the manager's about. You know how that team's going to play. And I think once you can get that within your team, within your squad, of all players buying into what the manager wants to do, the style of play, then I think you're onto a real good thing. And those 3 teams have certainly got that.
Incredible division, League One. Stockport, Huddersfield, Bolton, Stevenage and Luton separated by just 3 points after the top 3, and then Wickham, who are 9th, are just 3 points above the relegation zone. It is absolutely crazy. We shall see how League One pans out. Hopefully there's a little bit of separation that comes very soon indeed, but as we get to the halfway stage, incredible division once again in the EFL League One. Anyway, we're going to reflect up next on Darren Moore's departure from Port Vale in League One. We'll see what the supporters made of that decision. It's also time to hand out some of our awards for 2025. That's on the way next on EFL All Access.
Every emotion and total devotion. Let's get off. This is talkSPORT. Every single driver in this country could be missing out on this, and it's to do with the car finance scandal. If you've had cars or vans on finance between 2007 and 2021, you could be owed £1,846.23 per vehicle. That's the average claim on the free checker by Mega PCP Claim. There's no need to remember any reg plates or upload any agreements. Just your name and a few details. Over 150,000 drivers have already been helped. Text CLAIM to 66886 now. The FCA is currently consulting on a redress scheme. Claims can be made free by the Financial Ombudsman.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to celebrate. Not a bad way to start the new year. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on that. Account terms, rules and procedures. Players must be 18 or over.
Aqua Uniprimer is made by us, Dulux Trade.
And approved by professional painters like me and you.
It's made to get a grip on all major surfaces.
From wood to metal, tiles to new PVC, inside or out. You name it, this stuff sticks.
And it's made to be recoat ready in 60 minutes.
So we can get the job done.
Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer. It's made by us.
And approved by you. And me.
Put it to the test. Try Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer today.
Turkey tummy. Sprouts. Gastric trouble can feel like the festive gift that keeps on giving. At the first sign of discomfort, think Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol coats and soothes your stomach for effective 5-symptom relief. Pepto-Bismol oral suspension. It's been self-satisfied for always with the label.
Sky presents their fastest action release ever. Critics are calling it the internet
to them as well. And look, you could probably choose 7 or 8 country players to begin with a shout of it, but for me, it's hard to disagree with Brian, but the thought for me just straight to it.
You couldn't see my reaction in the studio, Joe, but I celebrated that like a goal for my team in the back of the net. Because I've also gone for Victor Tor, and listeners, avid listeners to the programme know that Talk Watch has been going very, very successfully this season. I actually tipped him to be Player of the Year last season. It didn't materialise, but who knows, if he has a strong second half to this campaign, maybe I'll be just a year late on that one. But anyway, certainly a commentary flavour in the Championship. Let's head on to League One. And I mentioned Clarkie and Sam had agreed on the same player, so let's see who they chose, starting with Adrian.
Barnsley's Davis Keeler Dunn, 25 goals in the calendar year. Playing for a side that struggled to find consistency, he's always come up trumps for Barnsley, and I think he deserves the accolade.
Davis Keeler Dunn at Barnsley. I think he's recently been handed the captaincy. Consistent goal scorer, I think 20 across the calendar year. Scorer of great goals. Good footballer as well, can drop in, can link the play. And yeah, I think he's been a talisman for Barnsley across 2025 and expect him to continue in a similar vein towards the end of the season.
I think we might get a full house on both League One and League Two, to be perfectly honest. But Joe, who have you gone for in League One?
Do you know what? I did think about him, but I've gone different again. And my reason was I wanted someone to be part of a team that had been successful or had relative success. And I've gone for Ollie Norwood at Stockport. And you know, for someone who's dropped down the divisions, probably say that he's come towards the end of his career as such. He's gone to Stockport and taken them to another level as well. And it's not like he's not chipped in. He's still got, I think, 17 goal involvements for the year itself for someone who plays quite a defensive midfielder role. And the success that they had missing out on the playoffs last season, put themselves in a hugely strong position this season as well. And it wouldn't surprise me if Stockport are one of those teams challenging for the automatic. So for me, Ollie Norwood, who's ever consistent, who's, you know, similar, has Premier League and Championship experience, but it's gone down to Stockport and really taken it to the next level. So, but again, I can't go against Davis Keeler Dunn, because what he's done in a Barnsley team that haven't produced too much for themselves is magnificent.
Okay, we mentioned they're in agreement for League Two as well. Let's have a listen.
Michael Cheek at Bromley would 100% get my vote. Incredible the way that he's adapted to the EFL after having such a productive career in non-league. He is the most goal involvements across any league, I think, in 2025 with 33, 25 goals to his name. He's going to be imperative if Bromley are potentially going to get another promotion under their belts.
Bromley's Michael Cheek, he's 34 years of age, but he's still banging them in left, right and centre, and Bromley up top of League Two, which is quite incredible really, and a lot of that is down to his goal output. Cheek scored plenty of goals last year. He's carried on in similar fashion this time around. He's also got 25 goals in the calendar year, so well played, Michael Cheek.
Who have you gone for, Joe?
For this one, I will have to agree with him. Yeah, look, incredible, and for someone who probably should have had an opportunity higher up the pyramid at times, wherever he's been, he's scored goals before Bromley, Ebbsfleet, Dagenham, Chelmsford, amongst others. He's always scored goals, and you know, there's always teams you see in the EFL who are known for giving opportunities to strikers, especially from non-league, and he's one that's just missed out on it. Maybe he just missed the boat slightly with his age, but he's proven once again, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. And the position he's put Bromley in at the minute in the table, who knows if he can now do it again next season in the division above.
We shall see. Joe Jacobson, been a pleasure to be with you. Best of luck with the rest of the season. EFL All Access available as a podcast. You can get it wherever you get your podcast from.
Ultimate Sports Radio.
This is talkSPORT 2. talkSPORT 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Plus, talkSPORT 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis
wars or trade deals? Will revolutions be abroad or in the workplace? The future's uncertain, but the facts shouldn't be. For trusted reporting and in-depth analysis, start your year with a special offer from the Times and Sunday Times of £1 for 4 months. Get all the latest breaking news and subscriber benefits from Times Plus. Visit thetimes.com now for your discounted digital subscription. 18 plus, new customers only, T's and C's apply.
Drivers, join me on this. Many UK drivers are owed significant money, an estimated £8 billion. If you bought a car on finance between 2007 and 2021, you could claim an average of £1,846.23, and that's just per agreement. 150,000 drivers have already been helped with Make a PCP claim. It takes just 60 seconds to check if you could qualify. Text claim to 66886 now. The FCA are currently consulting on a rejected. Claims can be made free by the financial ombudsman.
Now, I'm as guilty as anyone when it comes to ignoring things. Road grey hairs, red flags in relationships, or that service reminder on your car dash. Luckily, that one's easy. Visit Cinch for flat-free servicing at over 100 locations. Any car, whether you bought it from Cinch or not. With MOTs $39.95 and servicing from only $129.95. To book your service or buy your next car, visit cinch.co.uk. See cinch.co.uk/servicing for details, terms and exclusions apply.
Hi babe, what day? Fancy staying in tonight instead? I just called you my name and I saw you can get £5 off if you spend £20 on the app, so you in? Of course you are. Okay, bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. Save £5 when you spend £20 on food and drink via delivery. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Service and delivery fees apply. Valid once per week, 1st and 31st of January. Participating restaurants, serving time apply.
Licensed sports coverage.
He's going live. This is talkSPORT 2. It's the massive Monday night Midland matchup on talkSPORT 2. Quick referee crossing, and it's heading home. Foxy spice it out with the buggies. Get geared up for 7 with full match commentary of Leicester versus West Brom from 8. And he's scored an absolute beauty. Moody Monday night championship football on talkSPORT 2. On DAB+, online, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. This is talkSPORT 2. You're listening to the Best of On Track Formula One special. I'm John Jackson, and over the next hour we're going to hear from 4 massive names from the world of Formula One. We'll hear from former Ferrari driver Felipe Massa, Oscar Piastri, McLaren's current wonder kid, and also 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. But it all starts with someone who hopes his future is in Formula One, current Red Bull reserve driver Liam Lawson. He sat down and spoke to me ahead of the launch of Formula One 2024, the computer game.
Liam Lawson was sat here in a room in London. Why are we sat here in a room in London? Well, the new Formula One game is out. It's a kind of magic moment for everyone every year. Have you been playing this game for years before you even became a professional driver?
Yeah, honestly, yes. We were just saying I've basically played pretty much all the games since they sort of started. Well, for me, the first one was 2010, so I was 8 years old when the game came out, and that was basically my first time playing the Formula One games, and I've basically played all of them since then.
Dare I ask who you played as?
I was Red Bull. I was a Lewis Hamilton, so he was my hero when I was very, very young. But when I started playing the F1 games and started to get into Formula One, I always actually liked Red Bull. I liked the cars. I just think that they looked cool. That's why I would drive as them. And obviously they were the sort of dominant team of that era as well.
When we look at the ratings in the game, Lewis Hamilton, I think I spotted he's an 89 now. He's dropped a little bit. Is that fair?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Max is a 96, just to give you some idea.
I think it's fair, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's fair. I think Max right now is in a very, very strong. Obviously, the team's very, very strong and have been for the last couple of years, but Max is also driving at a level that's very, very high. Not that Lewis isn't. I fully believe that he's still obviously very, very competitive. But yeah, it's really hard to tell because in Formula One you can only compare to your teammates. Honestly, it's really hard to compare team to team. You can really only compare with the guy that's in the same car as you.
So looking back at those 5 races, they were pretty successful 5 races for you, having been thrown in the deep end. I know as a reserve driver you know that you're going to get called on potentially, but to do so well, does it seem like a sort of whirlwind? Do you have time to stop when you're doing those 5 races and enjoy the moment, or is it just so intense that now looking back it's like, whoa?
Yeah, not at all, honestly. At the time, it was, I think, 2.5 months was the total sort of span over all those races, and it felt like nothing, and it went by extremely fast. So To be honest, I didn't really have much time to enjoy it, and then obviously before I knew it was over, and then I'm in the sort of position I was before. I'm trying to get a full-time seat again. So yeah, a very cool opportunity, something that obviously we work towards as drivers our whole career. But for me now, it's about trying to make that happen full-time.
I've always liked how you seem to be very supportive of the drivers. You know, you see like cutaways when drivers maybe aren't doing so well or they have a moment, whatever, and you always seem to be really supportive. It must be quite frustrating for you to know that you can do it, have made such a good impression last year, but to be sitting on the sidelines.
It's definitely frustrating. It's something that's, yeah, obviously was pretty difficult at the time when everything was being decided, but it's something that, I mean, I don't have time to obviously to dwell on it. It's something that there's a lot that needs to happen for me to step back into a car, and it's about trying to do all those things between now and hopefully then and the future again. So yeah.
It feels like there's been a little bit of support for Yuki Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo in the last few days or so. You know, you can go online, you can read articles saying that people are happy within the organisation with their performances. Does someone take you aside and sort of be really honest with you about that kind of thing? Because obviously, you know, there's no secret that you're there and you want to get a seat. And in a way, to get a seat, you have to hope that someone either underperforms or can't drive, which is a kind of horrible way to get a job promotion, if that makes sense. But does someone sort of manage your expectations within the organisation?
It's always, obviously, it's always being talked about, and Formula One is something that every weekend everything changes, everything is changing very, very quickly, so weekend to weekend stuff is very, very different. So it's obviously, it's talked about a lot, and it's being managed, and obviously I'm always trying to work on and find out where exactly I'm sitting within the team for my future. So yeah, it's something that's, honestly, it's just changing all the time. I don't want to be in Formula One because somebody's injured. I want to be in Formula One because a team chooses me to be there full time.
We've already touched on Max Verstappen being the leading driver in this game, which I think we can all agree is well justified. He does come under a lot of pressure, a lot of casual hatred. It's not real hatred, but it's just like, you know, Michael Schumacher had it, Sebastian Vettel had it, Lewis Hamilton had it. When you are too good and you're dominating your sport, there's a lot of people that want to see their favourite driver maybe get a win now and again. Do you think he how, from your perspective, as being someone that does spend a bit of time with him, how does he deal with that? Or does he not deal with it? Does he not bother? Is it water off the duck's back?
I think he managed it very, very well. I think Max is pretty clear that he's not too fussed about what people think. I think it would be a pretty cool position to be in to win so much that you're hated for it. So yeah, I think it's something that he's not worried about, and I mean he has a huge support fan base anyway outside of the people that maybe don't like him so much. So he's got nothing to worry about.
I know you said before that he's been very supportive to you in your career so far. What kind of things has he been helping with?
It was really when I stepped in the car last year, he was obviously there. So the way the driver rooms work within Red Bull was they're all sort of in this energy station, and they're all in the same area. So Max was right next to my room, and before the racing sample, obviously I was really stressed about going in, and he just came to my room and was sort of pretty open and said to remember to enjoy it. That's a big sort of achievement, and it's all that sort of stuff. Not so much like driving related. Here's how you go faster. Here it was always more mental stuff where obviously he's a very mentally strong driver, probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest. He's not phased really by anything, so he was somebody that was pretty good to talk to when I stepped into a high pressure situation.
I know Charles was also pretty supportive when you were jumping in that car back then. You must have felt some happiness for him to finally win in Monaco.
Yeah, honestly, yes. It was really, really cool for him to win a home Grand Prix. Obviously, that's every driver's dream. Unfortunately, we don't have one.
Well, this is my next question. I was going to say, obviously, there's not the New Zealand Formula One Grand Prix at the moment, which is a real shame. So, what would be your one if you could step in and win a race, and it sort of be the one race you want to win? Would it be Melbourne, or is there a bit of rivalry between Australia and New Zealand?
There's rivalry between New Zealand and Australia when you're in our countries, if you're in New Zealand or in Australia, but then when you go global and you go around to the rest of the world, if you see an Australian, you actually kind of close, it's a bit different. So I think Australia would be the closest to it. Yeah, that would be the home sort of Grand Prix, I would say.
On Monaco, it's been quite vocal about how it's an it's been a big conversation. It always is a big conversation every time it comes around. How would you personally spice up the Monaco Grand Prix?
It's tricky. I'm not a race director, but I think in some way, if you had compulsory tyre competitions, you had to use something like that. It could do it, but in the past, it hasn't been this boring. It was more the fact that there was a red flag and most people did their compulsory pit stop in that pit stop basically under the red flag, so it meant that everybody was managing from there. So if it was a very unlikely situation, so in the past it hasn't been that straightforward.
Why are New Zealand drivers so good? At the moment we've got Nick Cassidy doing amazing stuff in Formula E. We've got Louis Sharp in GB3. I spoke to him recently and he was a big fan of yours. I don't know whether you're good mates or you converse.
Yeah, well.
Brendan Hart, you've got IndyCar drivers. What is quite a small country in the world seems to produce amazing drivers. Can you give me some kind of insight? Because I've asked all these other drivers and they don't know.
No, I don't really know. I think it's a part of it is we're in a race car pretty young. We had the opportunity to be in a race car pretty young. So Louis was quite similar to me, where I was in a race car. I stepped out of go-karts and into a full-size race car at 12 years old, and I was racing a Formula First car at 12 and then Formula Ford at 13. And by the time I came to Europe to do my first international F4 series, I'd done over 3 years of actual car racing outside of go-karts. So, and then there's our tracks as well. Our tracks are pretty unique, pretty tricky to drive, quite dangerous. So I think, it's, other than that, I have no idea, to be honest.
You've pretty much got no idea, like all the acts, something in the water. I just want to ask you a couple more questions. We had Yuki Tsunoda on the show recently, and we were in Japan with Formula E, and he was loving the fact that Formula E was racing in Japan and in the middle of the city. It was just before Suzuka. He feels like he recently kind of turned a corner in Formula One. There were some questions over whether he was good enough, and I feel like his performances have got a lot better recently. I'm sure you're pretty close to him. Didn't you used to live with him potentially at one point?
Yeah, we lived in the same building, yeah.
So what do you think it is from sort of, being quite close to his career? What do you think has changed, if anything? Or is it maybe just experience, luck? What is it?
It's tricky. As I said before, in Formula One, you can only really compare with your teammates. And it's difficult to compare with other teams because it's changing all the time. Everyone's developing from weekend to weekend. So I think he looks very comfortable, obviously, and he's driving very consistently. There's not many mistakes he's making at the moment. I think, he's just in a comfortable position. In Formula One, it's one of those things where, because the amount of pressure that's on the drivers, if you get into a bad swing of races, that sort of pressure just piles up, and then you find yourself making more mistakes, and it just gets worse weekend to weekend, and it gets harder to sort of break free of that bad run of races. Whereas it's kind of the same with having good races when you're having good momentum, which I think he's in at the moment. He's probably just very relaxed, feeling very comfortable, and doesn't really have too much to lose at the moment.
Yeah, it's the way to be. How are we going to see Liam Lawson driving in F1 in 2025?
Right, if I had the answer to that, then I'd probably be in the car right now. So I have no idea. Obviously, it's as you said before, everything's changing at the moment. There's a lot of drivers moving around. So at the moment, I don't really know where I slot into that, and if I do at all. But it's something that I'm working towards every single day at the moment.
I don't know how to put this, but you've been with Red Bull since 2019.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity elsewhere, is there an option for you to step away?
I can't answer this anyway. So
give me a wink.
No, at the end of the day, obviously, I would love to be with Red Bull in Formula One. They're the strongest team at the moment. And as you said, I've been with them now this is my 6th year with Red Bull. So if I could choose, I would love to be with Red Bull. But obviously, if there's no seat there, my goal is Formula One. So that could be anywhere.
Okay, well, thank you for spending time with me. We'll hopefully go and play the game now, and I'll show you how terrible I am at driving a car and why you justify being in a Red Bull seat hopefully in 2025.
Thank you.
That was Red Bull reserve driver Liam Lawson speaking to me around the launch of Formula One 2024, the game. Coming up next, we're going to hear from a 4-time Formula One world champion. We'll hear from Sebastian Vettel. You're listening to the best of on-track Formula One special.
You are live sports station. What a move! This is talkSPORT 2. Get ahead of the game every supercharged sporting Saturday on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Make the warm-up a part of your weekly matchday ritual. And get an unrivaled preview of all the upcoming unmissable football action.
Absolutely first class!
With expert predictions, pitch-perfect analysis, and a top-flight lineup of guests. Guaranteed. The warm-up with Max Rushton and Charlie Baker. Tomorrow morning from 9 on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for trade.
Team, kick off a 3, yeah? On my way. I've just picked up my new Nissan Tamstar. It's packed with safety features, goalkeeper vibes.
Showing off plans, are we? My Nissan Prima Star's got 8.6 cubic metres of space. So, loading up the footy gear now.
Thought this was a football chat. Try the all-new Nissan Interstar. Comes as a diesel or 100% electric with up to 285-mile range, like me up front. See ya!
Get ready to win with the Nissan Van range, all backed by a 5-year warranty and roadside assistance. Search Nissan Vans and visit your local Nissan Van Centre today.
Warranty terms apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. EV range figures are for comparability purposes and may not reflect real driving results. Visit nissan.co.uk.
When life gives you that hump day feeling, Deliveroo gives you the fuel to power through with a top-up shop delivered in as little as 20 minutes. Keep the fridge full with your favourite essentials from Co-op, Morrison's and Sainsbury's. And even better, your fresh and chilled groceries are covered with the freshness promised or your money back. Deliveroo, now just got even better. Geographical restrictions, T's and C's and B's apply. Delivery times vary. See app or web for info.
At Lidl, we value getting you the most out of your money. Like switching from Tesco to Lidl and saving £32 on this week's big shop. See the savings at lidl.co.uk/usave. And start the new year feeling like a savvy saver. Lidl, more to value. Prices check 10/12/25. Test costs on other products. See online for more details.
We're the dirty freak ready your trains.
Really stars and nasty little
How we get more powerful,
crawling up your pants.
soaking your toilet.
Until it's all aboard the express train to train.
When your trains become a total horror show, call Metro Rod. Metro Rod's heroes are on hand 24/7 to look all the nasty surprises in your house. For sanitation salvation, visit metrorod.co.uk. Metro Rod, here to save the day.
Aqua Uniprimer is made by us, Dulux Trade.
And approved by professional painters like me and you.
It's made to get a grip on all major surfaces.
From wood to metal, tiles to new PVC, inside or out. You name it, this stuff sticks.
And it's made to be recoat ready in 60 minutes.
So we can get the job done.
Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer. It's made by us.
And approved by you. And me.
Put it to the test. Try Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer today.
I'm Jeff Kelly. Strap yourself in for a spectacular Sunday, crammed full of live football on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. From 12 noon, get supercharged full match commentary of Birmingham versus Coventry in the West Midlands derby, live on talkSPORT 2. With an explosive Premier League showdown between Leeds and Manchester United, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. It's a fully combustible Sunday afternoon of 5-star football on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. This is talkSPORT 3.
I'm John Jackson, and you're listening to the Best of On Track Formula One special from talkSPORT. You can go back and listen to every single episode of our weekly motorsport show On Track on the talkSPORT podcast network. In April 2024, we were joined by 4-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel with a view to maybe getting back into the sport. He joined Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy on talkSPORT.
Hi Sebastian, thanks for coming on the programme.
Hi.
Interesting to speak to you. Yes, we can hear you well. Thank you very much for coming and speaking to us today. You're taking part in a campaign offering expertise and recommendations on how to get your body to perform at its optimum. Both Danny and I certainly need a bit of advice on that. So what is the campaign that you're involved in?
Yeah, so thank you and good morning again. So basically, I can help you. No, I think to give you a bit of a background, obviously, as an athlete, as a sportsman, you're surrounded at some point, when you get to a professional level by the best people in terms of everything you're looking for, and also in terms of, keeping fit or getting fit, keeping fit, energizing or refueling with energy during a Grand Prix, what sort of nutrition you're looking at beforehand and afterwards, but also drinks. And we have a drinks bottle in the car, and so I also tried to optimize, and I got into the whole sports drink world and trusted in gels, powders, tried various stuff, but they all came with side effects, and that wasn't very pleasant. So towards the end of my career, I stumbled across a product that is now purple, the sports drink purple, and PERPLE, not like the color purple, standing for performance and pleasure, and it's rooted in performance. So I tried the product, and I wasn't very optimistic at first, but then I tried it, and it was working. I didn't have any side effects. I felt more energized throughout the race, also through or in and throughout training sessions, and I wanted to understand
I wasn't very keen anymore to put bad stuff and all that rubbish into my body, and made the switch. And ever since, I'm very happy. I got more involved, and at some point got invested as well. And I think it is exciting because it's something that I trust. I recommend it to you if you want to get in better shape or want to have something that you enjoy as well, and doesn't come with side effects, but also to all sorts of people, active people, whether it's the professionals or just people that like to exercise once or twice a week, even kids, because it's harmless, as I said, it's all natural. So exciting days, and different journey, but very, very happy about it.
I'll listen. I'll take a look at what I can get at my age, to be honest with you. So I'll take you up on your recommendation. Is it making you feel so good that you're even considering the possibility of making a comeback to F1?
I don't know yet, but if I do, then for sure it will be in my drinks pouch. So that's definitely the case. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. Obviously, there's some things that I miss about the sport, other things that I don't miss. But for now, I'm keeping myself busy with other stuff. I'm very happy at home, spending more time with kids, etc.
Can I ask how quickly do you think it will get to the point where it's readily available? Because, for example, my children who are heavily into their sports, and they're always, if you're on the rush, you're taking them to one football match, you're taking them my daughter horse rides, etc., etc. You sometimes stop on a garage or a shop, and you just grab like a Lucozade or whatever is available, and an energy drink, and it's something like this. When is it going to be more available than it is now?
Well, that's the challenge, obviously, getting the product out there. It is available. I mean, you can already order online, and I'm sure we can get you and send you some stuff. But you visit drinkpurple.com, and then you can order. I've got the stuff here, so I cannot really send it to you through the camera. I don't know if you can see me. You can definitely hear me. But it is available from now on, and hopefully it will be in the shelves in the future. But it's definitely worth a try. I think it is exactly that. It's giving you an alternative to all the sugary and all the kind of stuff that you don't really trust. And we know that it's based on trust in this sort of field and business, because as an athlete as well, you have one shot. You try it. If it works, brilliant. You stick with it. If it doesn't, you move on. So, I think it's it did do the difference to me. It did do the trick. And if you do sports, I think the key is that it can be pleasurable, it can be enjoyable, and it doesn't have to be the whole no pain, no gain theme that is so popular.
Well, let's talk about no pain and no gain, because there's been a lot of pain for everybody else who isn't Max Verstappen in Formula One over the course of the last couple of years. What have you made of his dominance?
Well, I'm a fan. I mean, I think it's great to watch. Obviously, it's not always as exciting as having two people fight for the top spot, or three or four. But, it's not something you turn up and you wish for a sort of certain outcome. The sport is what it is, and Max at the minute is just driving on a better level than most, and probably all of the other drivers. Plus, the team he's surrounded by, they're doing a fantastic job giving him the tools to work with. So, you have to accept that and take your hat off, because he's just that little bit better than everybody else at the minute.
What's gone wrong for Mercedes, do you think?
Well, you need to ask them. I don't know. I'm obviously, like you, just watching now. So obviously still in touch with some people. But it's difficult once you lose the momentum, and then you have strong opposition with Max and Red Bull at the minute. It's difficult to get back to that level immediately. Just missing little bits here and there. Usually it's not one ingredient you're missing, it's lots of small things, and that in the end makes the difference.
Yeah, is there a little bit of a danger? The sport gets a bad reputation, it becomes a little bit boring. If Max Verstappen wins every Grand Prix, wins every world title, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the Red Bull team, obviously with the Christian Horner situation as well. Has it damaged the reputation of the sport, do you think?
Well, I think from a competitive point of view, it's normal. We always had phases where, a certain driver, a certain team was dominating the sport. You could argue the same thing about other sports, the same skier winning all the downhills, or the same football club winning the Premier League with, the last 10 years, mostly Man City. Then you can argue Liverpool was up there. But that's boring if you're looking for, 5, 6, 7 or 10 different teams winning in 10 different years. So it depends always the angle that you're watching from, and I think what you is the perfection or the excellence that Max is pulling off at the minute. So for sure, as you know, a spectator and watching, you would hope for more passings and people racing closer to each other. But yeah, Max is just a little bit ahead. I think it's normal the sport undergoes certain phases of dominance by a certain team or driver.
And I might must ask you a question, but quickly before we move on to that. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton is moving from one team to another. He's going to Ferrari. It's a big move for him. Last couple of weeks, he's been talking quite a lot. He references to the Christian Horner situation and claimed that Formula One is a bad environment for women. What would you say to that?
Well, Formula One is a big industry, is a big global sport, and with that comes a lot of responsibility. I think on some fronts, Formula One is moving very, very fast. If you look at the technology, the cars, it's fascinating. On other fronts, I agree, it's moving quite slow. But I think there is change in the air, and things are getting better. I mean, if I take my time when I started to when I finished, there were a lot more women in that case involved. Not just coming to races to watch, but also or standing and holding your car number on the grid. Obviously, we got rid of grid girls. We moved on, and I think now there's more and more women involved in the teams. But yeah, it's great to see, and hopefully we'll break the ice even more to have more and more women being involved and having the courage to join Formula One, because there's a lot of them that are very passionate about racing, about motorsport. But yeah, it's something that happens. It should happen and has to happen quicker, and it can only be encouraged. And I think generally, transparency. And that's probably true for all the sports, is something that needs improvement, so that with the responsibility that you carry when to all your listeners, followers, watchers, whatever, that you open up and you make it more accessible, and you live the change and you show the change, and you only declare that in a way that everybody understands by being more transparent.
Four-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel there, speaking with Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy on talkSPORT. You're listening to the best of On Track from talkSPORT, and coming up next, we'll hear from another Formula One driver as we bring you highlights from the 2024 season of On Track.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app. This is talkSPORT 2. Elite domestic club rugby has been rebooted. Gallagher Glen live on talkSPORT 2 with Funding Circle. Get full runs, full match, full conference commentary of selected games throughout the entire New Look season. Experience hard-charging, whistle-to-whistle coverage that gets you so close to the action you can practically smell the adrenaline. And you down to rock. Gallagher Glen live on talkSPORT 2 with Funding Circle. Business finance that backs you. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Will this year bring more trade news or trade deals? Will revolutions be abroad or in the workplace? The future is uncertain, but the facts shouldn't be. For trusted reporting and in-depth analysis, start your year with a special offer from the Times and Sunday Times of £1 for 4 months. Get all the latest breaking news and subscriber benefits from Times Plus. Visit thetimes.com now for your discounted digital subscription. 18 plus new customers only, T's and C's apply.
Thinking about goals this time of year? Like saving money or buying a new car? Well, right now you can save £3,750 on the all-electric Mini Countryman with the electric car grant. Yeah, 2 goals in one, you get more space, more adventure, more Mini than ever. I feel a cheeky little smile going on. Start living the big life for less. Let's save £3,750 with the electric car grant. Visit mini.co.uk/grant. Grant available for specifications up to £42,000. T's and C's apply. Imagine entering your name and a few details, and all of your car finance agreements that you had before 2021 just appeared on screen, along with your potential compensation amount. That's all you have to do on this claim checker from Make a PCP claim. In 60 seconds, you'll be able to see how many car finance agreements you had attached to your name and how much compensation you could potentially be owed from the recent car finance scandal. Text CLAIM to 66886 now to check your potential payout in 60 seconds. The FCA is currently consulting on a redress scheme. Claims can be made free by the Financial Ombudsman.
Save up to a healthy 30% on Aldi's Super 6. Grapefruit, salad potatoes and British mini apples, plus celery, spring onions and picolato tomatoes.
Best of On Track Formula One special from talkSPORT. I'm John Jackson, and I'm not saying I'm a good luck charm or anything, but the next conversation was recorded just a matter of days before the driver won his first ever race in Formula One. I'm talking about McLaren's Oscar Piastri, because at McLaren's technology